But again,
Yo, what the hell? Why is this so twisted? Who does that? Wait, are people okay? Alright, chat,
Kokoro
last video.
Connect is a Japanese
check it
light
out.
novel series written by Anda Sananatsu.
The
And
joke
in
that
2012,
killed an
it received
anime.
an anime adaptation. This anime was generally well received
Okay.
by critics and fans. How many copies of its Blu-ray do you think it would have sold? Now, keep in mind that many anime aren't exactly known for selling tons of Blu-rays. Instead, the typical tactic seems to be that you make these things very expensive and cast a smaller net. Even so, given that this was one of the more popular anime series in 2012,
I don't know,
would
like
expect
less
it to
than
safely crack
1,000.
10,000 sales for the year. Just based off my gut, I feel like that's a safe bet. But it didn't. No, not even close. It only sold 2,140.
That's more than I thought.
That's it. Of course, sales like that don't bode well for a sequel, and sure enough, it never received a proper one. Because of that, Kokoro Connect was doomed to be an incomplete adaptation, just like so many anime that people enjoy. But why? Was there something wrong with it that made it only sell this many copies? I mean, from the series' reception, that doesn't seem to be a major factor. In fact, a lot of people really like it and would have loved to see more. So, what happened? Well,
What happened?
a joke happened. Or maybe joke isn't quite the right word.
See, I wasn't really in like the community or like the whole anime realm at that time. I was playing freaking League of Legends and Minecraft.
Mitsuhiro Ichiki is the main character in this story. See, he's a voice actor who, back before 2012, had managed to voice in a number of anime, mostly as supporting characters. So, when he received an audition for an anime original character in Kokoro Connect, I'm sure he was excited to attend. He went there, performed, and then he waited. Eventually, a promotional event for the anime was held, and Ichiki was invited. This event, which would not only contain in-person attendees, but was streamed to one of Japan's largest video sites, no doubt represented a big moment in Ichiki's career. After all, though he hadn't yet heard back about the audition, how could this be anything other than good news? In fact, all signs pointed to his anime original character being announced here, along with him acting that character. Really, that's the only thing that would make sense. Except that the anime's producer, Takahiro Yamanaka, had a different plan. Because this character Ichiki had auditioned for, they didn't exist. They had never existed. So as Ichiki walked out on stage, a video began to play. An embarrassing video from his audition, which hadn't even been an audition. No, the other actors were certainly actors, but they weren't looking for this part. They were specifically there to fool Ichiki, to make him believe that this was real. And as the audition went on, they asked him to say his lines in purposely silly ways, yell loudly, that sort of thing. And Ichiki had to hear this play out in front of the crowd. The fact that he wouldn't be voice acting in the anime was revealed right then and there. But it was even worse than that. Because this was all fake, he had never been considered for the part at all. He had been the butt of a bad joke, but again...
Yo, what the hell? Why is this so twisted? Who does that? Wait, are people okay?
Acting in the anime was revealed right then and there. But it was even worse than that. Because this was all fake, he had never been considered for the part at all. He had been the butt of a bad joke, but again, I think joke might be the wrong word here. From here, Ichiki was offered
I
a
don't
different
think
role,
that's a
that of
joke.
the anime's public relations head, who would help drum up excitement for the anime's release. So not only had these people purposefully embarrassed him, not only had they made a mockery of his passion and voice acting work, they now wanted him to promote the series.
Yo,
However, this
what
wasn't
the
even
hell?
a
Screw
normal
these
type
guys.
of
What the
promotion.
hell?
No, Ichiki had specific missions assigned to him, such as reaching a certain amount of followers on the official Twitter account. If he failed, well, then he would face a punishment game of sorts, like being electrocuted on video. Yet Ichiki accepted this job. Why? It's honestly hard for me to imagine why.
Is this real or is this in the anime? I can't tell apart the real, like, IRL story from the anime. Am I hearing this right? This is not that stuff that happens in the anime, right? This is what they wanted him to do in real life, the voice actor.
Amount of followers on the official Twitter account. If he failed, well, then he would face a punishment game of sorts, like being electrocuted on video. Yet Ichiki accepted this job. Why?
I mean,
It's honestly hard for me to imagine.
Right,
why.
if
Maybe
he's
he was
taking
worried
those
that he would
decisions,
come out of this
then-
looking worse if he didn't. Maybe he thought that this job would still be a good opportunity for his career. Regardless,
Bro, he's
things
like a
got worse
lolcow.
from here. Some other people involved in the anime's creation were found to have been mocking Ichiki and his dream of being a voice actor. Eventually,
What
fans
the
caught
hell
wind
is
of
going
this,
on?
and they were not
Like, the whole company is just ganging up on this poor guy that wants to be a voice actor.
happy.
What the hell?
Many Japanese ones vowed to outright boycott the anime. And based on these sales,
bro,
it
delete
seems
this
like they
of
did.
the
This
get
joke
the whole
had come to
company
fruition,
banned, man.
and it had killed the anime.
Good.
This story, though not exactly widely well known, is definitely discussed among anime fans online to some degree. And what I outlined above has been taken as the true version of events. Each time, though, the primary source listed for this is a Pastebin article from 2012, which contains translations for certain interviews and discussions. Here, another popular voice actor from the show
At some point, I didn't even understand that there wasn't. I thought he was talking about the anime, not actual real life events.
was found to say that he didn't think seeing the moment a person crumbles would be so beautiful. It's also stated that Ichiki told the story to another voice actor, Tomokazu Sugita, who said that, if it were me, I would remember the face of everyone there forever. However,
Yo, that's
there's
like some Death Note shit, you know? Like, you just write down everyone's name, dude.
issue with this story of bullying. And that's what Ichiki himself has to say on the matter in his own blog post. Here, Ichiki writes that while he can understand people interpreting this negatively, he doesn't see this as a case of bullying. In fact, he writes that he's saddened whenever he sees someone say that they feel sorry for him or that they can't forgive the perpetrators.
Is this
If
guy
anything,
okay?
this disdain for those he's working with seems to be the main thing causing him pain. As he says, I don't think anyone who writes articles on the internet for fun would ever understand. He even goes so far as to specifically state that he's now experienced the horror of the internet firsthand. At the end, he promises that he didn't write this article under pressure, though he knows some will believe that regardless, but he still wants to keep telling the truth. Well, okay then, so Ichiki doesn't see himself as the victim here. That's good. But the way I, and I'm sure many of you, react to this blog post will reveal just how moronic this publicity stunt really is. Because now, how the heck am I supposed to know what's true? After all, as much as I
Yeah.
want to believe these words regarding the situation, he now has a job to protect, along with
Why would they?
his future prospects of employment
I am
in
so
this industry.
perplexed, chat.
It's simply impossible to know
What
the
a-
truth here. Beyond that, it's similarly impossible to not look at what happened to him and find it upsetting. Even if he did take it well, it's such a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
That's not a good practical joke. It's
What
just
the hell?
mean. Still, more than that, his words about the horror of the internet ring true. Years later, this incident still follows those involved, and details have become super hard to verify. For instance, voice actor Takahiro Mizushima states that the outrage, in part, stemmed from an upload of the incident in a form different from the original intention. What does this mean exactly? No idea. I don't know which video was uploaded. I can't even watch the original live stream anymore. It's gone. Meanwhile, that Pastebin article, as helpful as it is, doesn't provide sources for most of its information. As far as I'm concerned, this event has taken on a life of its own, with correct information and misinformation mixed together until it's impossible to tell
Bro, they
one
should
from
do
the
an
other.
anime
I mean,
on
the
this
TV
story.
tropes page for Ichiki even states that he missed a chance to compete in a major esports event because he instead went to audition for this fake role in Kokoro Connect. Is there any proof given for this statement? No, it's just there, whether it's true or not. Plus, the reaction to this type of thing, it has real-world repercussions. Like another voice actress was harassed for no other reason than an unproven connection to producer Yamanaka. Obviously, none of this is to say that the original incident, the original live stream and public humiliation is fake, but the specifics of it, many of those have been lost to time. Meanwhile,
What?
the popular claim that this incident is to blame for the show's lack of a second season, it might be true, but I'm not quite so sure. Considering that 3 series that are now
Chat,
more
stop.
popular than it had similarly low sales, and as far as I know, they didn't have some controversy surrounding them. I mean, I have no doubt that this incident didn't help, but again, I can't help but feel that this is a moment where it's near impossible to tell what really happened, and there are a lot of assumptions
I'm
going
so
on.
confused.
One thing I do know is that in the Kokoro Connect OVAs, Ichiki did voice a minor.
If this story happened, that is extremely messed up, extremely sad, and how is that even true? Like, how did this man let this happen to himself? But then if it's fake, why? Like why would you lie about that? Like why or what? I'm so confused.
character, and he has moved past this incident. That being the case, there are really only two main takeaways I can get from this story. Public pranks like this are absolutely moronic, especially
Yeah.
when they're part of a company's PR campaign.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely brain dead decision there that put everyone, including
If
Ishiki,
they
at an
okay, if that was the actual PR move from the company, I am sorry, but you guys are just
increased risk of future harassment and in an unnecessarily difficult position. Second, don't necessarily take this internet stuff at face value. After all, when I read the story for the first time, I was ready to make this video and come out swinging about how disgusting this behavior is and all that, but upon digging just a little more, it became clear that, in its own way, that would only be contributing to the thing Ishiki says caused him the most issues. The horror of the internet. The way people treat these problems like they have all the info at their disposal, even though they haven't talked to any of these
the problem is they created the problem themselves for the guy. So why is he blaming the internet for that?
people, even though they haven't been directly involved. Sometimes you got to take a step back from this stuff before making assumptions. Otherwise, you might be led to a string of information that's impossible to confirm or deny, harassment, and who knows what other terrible things.
Dude, this video absolutely blew my mind. Awesome video from a year ago. At like halfway in, I didn't even know if he was talking about the anime, like the fiction, or reality. That's how like messed up that was. Like what is, I don't know, man.